fuck with me, fuck with me. Listen ya, fuck with me. Listen ya, fuck with me. Listen ya, fuck with me. Yeah, bah. I am a mom, I am a mom. So be a mom, be a mom. Yeah, in a mom, Ghana for mom. I am mom, I am conscious from conscious from fun girls, pretty na ye bomo, yeah. And I'm a face or a queen, pretty too. That's your baba mama. Fun boys, pretty na ye bomo.
City 97.3.
And I'm a face or a queen, pretty too. That's your baba mama.
Good afternoon, Ghana. It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
City News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon to you, and welcome to the City Prime News on 97.3 City FM. The news is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on citynewsroom.com. I am Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Coming up, former Gift Board Chair Professor Christopher Amayo Ekumfi granted 10 million cedis bail to sureties after pleading not guilty to charges of financial loss in the $2 million SkyTrain deal. Also coming up, NPP Ashanti Regional Chair Bernard Entry Boisiakon appears before police CID following an invitation by security agencies days after an intended search of his home.
We are here and waiting for the DJ to give us further instructions. So myself, my client, we are here in the headquarters of CID.
Still ahead, Government of Ghana closes its embassy in Washington, D.C. over corruption scandal.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs has temporarily shut down Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C. as part of measures following alleged revelation of widespread corruption and abuse of office at the diplomatic mission. And later, government grants electricity bill exemptions for public, that is essential public institutions, including Office of the President. All that and more on City Prime News, which is live on all affiliates across the 16 regions of the country. Western region, we are live on Beach FM 105.5 and Premier FM 100.5, both in Takrady. Bono region J Live 95.5 in Sunyain, Ashanti region Focus FM 94.3 in Kumasi, Orange FM 107.9 also in Kumasi. Volta region we are live on Revival FM 99.3 in Tajewu, VOV radio and Northern region we are live on Radio Bimbila 91.9 in Bimbila. And Upper West, we are live on Tonsong FM 97.3 in Wa and Jrapa FM 96.1 in Jrapa.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for choosing us. Now, the Ashanti Regional NPP Chairman Bernard Boisiakon, popularly known as Chairman Wuntum, is currently at the CID headquarters for questioning. This follows a failed attempt by security personnel to arrest him at his residence last Friday. While the exact reason for the police invitation remains unclear, sources say it may be linked to an alleged $50 million payment by Cocoa Board to his construction firm, Hallmark Civil Engineering. His lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, says they await clarification.
We had an invitation from the CID department last week, and that was Wednesday, and we were supposed to report on Wednesday, but you know that my client lives in Kumasi, so at that time, he was also not feeling too well, so he was attending to his doctor's call, and myself, I was in court in Cape Coast, so I was also not available, so we found a way to reach out to the department to tell them that that date was not suitable. For reasons I've given, and they advise us to officially write to inform the DJ that we are not available. So we did so, and therefore we came to agreement that the Wednesday meeting be deferred to today. And the time was supposed to be 10 o'clock. We are here and waiting for the DJ to give us further instructions. And let me even add that the invitation was for him to assist in investigations without more. So we don't know specifically why and for what investigation he has to contribute. But as duty calls, we are here.
Andy Apiakobe is lawyer for Ashanti Regional NPP Chairman Bernard Inchibuesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontimi. Let's go on the phone lines and speak to my colleague Charles Owusukume, who is currently at the police headquarters here in Accra. Charles, good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time. What's the current situation at the CID headquarters where you are? Hello, Charles.
Yes,
What's the current situation where you are? We understand Chairman Wontimi is currently before police officers.
Well, yes, Chairman Wontimi just arrived a few moments ago in the company of former Attorney General Godfred Dami. So before that, some of his lawyers, including the former MP for Ashanti Achim North, Andy Apiakobe, had already been at the CID headquarters engaging with police officers before the chairman himself arrived. And now we're told that the lawyers do not know the exact reasons for which chairman has been invited today. The next couple of minutes, when the meeting with the police officers is over, they'll be able to brief us on what the charges are. But yes, we know the history with Chairman Wontimi. The last couple of years here in this country, he's been accused of some illegal mining activities through his company, Akonta Mining, whose license has been suspended and is currently in court fighting this very case. What we're being told by some newspaper publications today is that he's also under investigations for some 50 million cedis paid to his company, Hallmark Civil Engineering, by Cocoa Board for some cocoa roads that the company executed. Now, Chairman, we tried to engage him briefly when he got here, but he says he's come and he's waiting for the police officers to formally charge him. We also know that his accounts have been frozen by the Financial Intelligence Center, and we're hearing that it's in connection with this alleged 50 million that was paid to his company during the transition period when Chief of Staff Julius Debra issued a statement warning state agencies to suspend all payments. We're told that this particular 50 million was paid within that period. So we're still here hoping that we'll get the full details of why Chairman Wontimi has been invited by the police. Now, this follows, of course, what happened in his house on Friday, where some police officers and national security officers stormed his house, but could not get access to the place because, according to him, they didn't have an arrest warrant. So we're hoping that by close of the day, there will be clarity on the reason for which he's been invited to the CID headquarters.
Charles, do we know if party supporters have come to the CID headquarters to offer their support to the NPP Ashanti Regional Chair?
Well, yes, I've seen a few of them. Former Member of Parliament for Western English, Amanfo Slightete, is currently here. I've also seen the Ashanti Regional Communications Director for the NPP, Mr. Paul Yando. If you'd allow it, I would have a brief engagement with him. good news. I saw a video of you calling on NPP supporters in the Ashanti region to come support Chairman. Why do you think that should be the case? I mean, this is just a pleasing invitation to him. We don't even know what he's been charged for.
Thank you so much. And I would like to tell everybody in this country that we live in a country that we must all abide by the rule of law in the country. And nobody under any circumstance allow those laws to be trampled upon. You get it. And so, Chairman, the way the national security operatives invaded his house was something that is unfold. It's not supposed to be so. There are several ways that we should all try.
Hello, Charles.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, there are several ways that we should all try and not the other way. And so, as you know, Chairman, the law-abiding citizen, today he promised to be here, and indeed, since he enter the CID office, he's going to listen to whatever claim that they want to impose on him.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yando. So that was the Ashanti Regional Communication Director of the. Well, there are a few others here. The CID head won't allow for huge numbers, but I can count of them who are support the Chairman.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. That's my colleague Charles Osukumi. We'll bring you more on this particular issue as and when we have more from the police CID. Away from that, now the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has ordered the temporary shutdown of Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C. The decision follows allegations of corruption and misconduct at the mission. The minister says the closure will allow for a thorough investigation into the claims and help restore integrity. The matter has since been referred to the Attorney General for possible prosecution and the recovery of misappropriated funds. Here, excerpt of the statement.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs has temporarily shut down Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C. as part of measures following alleged revelation of widespread corruption and abuse of office at the diplomatic mission. The decision was taken to finalize the ongoing restructuring and systems overhaul after a special audit team uncovered a long-running fraudulent scheme within the embassy. Central to the scandal is Fred Kwate, a local IT staff member recruited in August 2017, who admitted to creating an unauthorized link on the embassy's website. This link rerouted visa and passport applicants to his private firm, Ghana Travel Consultants (GTC), where they were charged additional fees ranging from $29.75 to $60 United States dollars. These fees, which were not sanctioned by either the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Parliament under the Fees and Charges Act, were paid directly into Kwatin's personal account. The matter has been referred to the Attorney General for potential prosecution and recovery of misappropriated funds. He added that all Ministry of Foreign Affairs staff posted to the Washington, D.C. embassy have been recalled to Accra.
You had excerpt of a statement issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on the closure of Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C., USA, read by my colleague, Ejubi Riafe Akente. Now, former board chairman of Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund has pleaded not guilty to count of willfully causing financial loss to the state, intentional dissipation of public funds, and conspiracy to commit crime. This is after he failed on 2 previous occasions to appear before the court because of medical emergencies. Professor Christopher Amayewa Kumfi and Solomon Asamoah are on trial for same offences of causing $2 million of state funds to be transferred into the private account of Africa Investor Holdings for the purposes of constructing a SkyTrain without authorization and due diligence. Let's go on the phone lines and speak to our court correspondent, Hansen Achiman. Hansen, good afternoon and thank you for your time. What more do we know from today's court proceedings? Hello, Hansen.
Hello.
Hansen, thank you for your time. If you can hear me, what more do we know about today's court proceedings?
So this is the first appearance for Professor Christopher Amayewa Kumfi, although the court has been
properly constituted 3 times today. In addition, the previous 2 court days were notified by his lawyers that he had medical emergency, and based on that, he couldn't make it to court. So the case was adjourned today with the hope that he would come to court, primarily for his plea to be taken. The first accused, which is the former CEO of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, Solomon Asamoah, he has already pleaded not guilty to the charges. Christopher Ameakomfi today came to court in wheelchair, of course, based on the medical emergencies, and he pleaded not guilty to all counts against him. His lawyers asked the court to grant him bail on his own recognizance, but prosecution argued that it's important that the same bail conditions that were applied to the first accused, i.e., 50 million bail bond to be justified with 2 sureties in Accra with landed property, should be applied to Professor Ameakomfi, except that he should be made to report once a week because of his health conditions, and not 3 as was given to Solomon Asamoah. The judge, however, after considering the plea of the lawyers of the accused and the prosecution's case, indicated that then he should be granted bail to the tune of 10 million Ghana cedis, with 2 sureties to be justified with landed property in Accra. As what we've been told by his lawyers is that efforts have been made to secure the bail. We are told that Kennedy Ohene Japan, who was in court today, stood surety as one of the sureties for Professor Christopher Ameakomfi. But it's also important to note that after court proceedings, we spoke to the lawyer for the first accused, who told us that his client is yet to meet the bail conditions as of yet.
Charles, Hansen Ajima, thank you so much for your time, for bringing us that update from the court. This is still the City Point News on 97.3 City FM. I am Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Still ahead, government grant electricity bill exemptions for essential public institutions, including Office of the President. We have details coming up shortly. Please stay with us.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel 1 TV invites you to exhibit at AgriFair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery? This is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. Come one, come all. Enjoy the freshest farm produce at unbeatable prices. And treat yourself to sizzling kebabs made from beef, mutton, pork, chicken, and more. Great taste, great value. Don't miss out. The AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by Exim Bank, Legacy Crop Improvement Center, and Development Bank Ghana.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has approved electricity bill exemptions for key public institutions including hospitals, public universities, police and military installations, and the Office of the President. Cabinet endorsed the decision to ensure uninterrupted delivery of essential services. The Finance Ministry will cover electricity costs for these institutions from existing budget allocations. The exemptions applies only to core areas like hospital wards and lecture halls. Now, ECG and NEDCO have been directed to intensify revenue collection from non-exempt bodies. Now, still on the power company, ECG says it has restored about 70% of power to Obuasi and nearby communities following a fire outbreak at the Obuasi Gridco substation. The incident led to a transformer explosion and damaged critical infrastructure serving the area. According to ECG, 2 transformers were affected. One was completely destroyed and will need to be replaced, while the other sustained partial damage and is repairable. Speaking to Citi News, Public Relations Officer for the Ashanti West region, Benjamin Obin-Entry, said power has been restored to the functional transformer, bringing electricity back to the communities it serves.
As we speak, ECG is distributing power supply to some customers because once one transformer is totally damaged, the remaining transformer cannot take the total load of customers that receive power supply from the Obuasi box supply point. However, we are still in talks with Gridco to ensure that the second transformer is replaced or another alternative option. We are only supplying customers from the salvage transformer, which means not all customers are having power supply at the moment, but we are still in talks with Gridco. Like I said, the challenge is at the Gridco end of the box supply point, so the quantum of power that Gridco will give to us, that we able to distribute to our cherished customers. However, we are still in talks with people to ensure that we get an alternative supply or the transformer back on the grid.
Benjamin Obin-Entry speaks for the ECG in the Ashanti region. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly is set to announce alternative trading locations for street vendors affected by its ongoing decongestion exercise. This follows defiance by some traders of the Red Line Initiative, which prohibits trading in unauthorized areas. Speaking to Citi News, the Assembly's spokesperson Gilbert Ankara said this Assembly is working to ensure that displaced traders do not return to restricted zones, with new measures being rolled out to maintain order.
But let me also state that in as much as we will be moving in to deal with the issue, it wouldn't be the usual force that the Assembly normally uses. Mayor has said that this particular exercise is not the usual by more engaging, more participatory. So we get amended to get the traders or those who are within these areas that are not supposed to be to really move away. And today, let me state that the Assembly will be announcing specific lanes and designated areas we are going to allow traders to trade on street. And the entire modality. So we are also trying to meet these traders halfway, and we are hopeful that with measures being put in place to even in the long term expand the market, will get them to buy into these initiatives, these moves we're putting in place, so we can have a city where especially vehicular movement will be smooth.
You heard the Public Relations Officer for the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Gilbert Ankara. In the Central Region, the Awutu Senya East Municipal Assembly has begun a decongestion exercise in Kassua's Central Business District to clear traders from pedestrian walkways and road lanes. MCE for the Awutu Senya East, Seth Sabasewonu Banini, says the operation aims to restore order and protect pedestrians.
We have had very fruitful discussions with the police commander. At the last NewSec security meeting, we discussed that extensively. I've had separate meetings with the Kasua Police Command, the regional commander, the divisional commanders. We are intending to build a joint task force that would have personnel from the immigration, personnel from the prisons, personnel from the fire, personnel from the police itself, plus the Assembly's task force that would have a sustained 24-hour patrol to make sure that people that still go ahead and come We have laws in this country. The laws will deal with them if they are apprehended. But I always say that I believe in the dialogue manner. I believe in engagement. And so we'll continue to engage them and then carry out public education. But those of them who would want to flout this and then still present themselves as stumbling block would allow the law to take its course.
Seth Sabasewo Banini is the Municipal Chief Executive of Awutu Senior East. The Dean of the School of Veterinary Medicine at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Benjamin Emikwe, is warning about the growing threat of mpox in Ghana. He attributes the surge to increased human intrusion into forest areas through mining and other activities which, along with climate change, brings people into closer contact with wildlife, raising the risk of infection.
When land is being used, like where mining is encroaching into our forests, there's definitely going to be wildlife-human interface being very close, and that will make these animals to move out. Some of these animals may even have contact with humans and all that. And the secretions from all these animals, especially like kuscore, like these rats and all that, into our food may actually predispose to all this. So if we look at climate change, which is making migration to be more intense, where we also look at land degradation, then the wildlife-human interface is stronger, and coupled with mining in Ghana, then you know that this is going to increase the tempo of wildlife-human interface, and that might result into some of these diseases that are zoonotic in nature.
Professor Emipe says using AI-powered systems to predict and manage outbreaks will be key to controlling the spread of the disease.
We are trying to use AI-powered means to be able to forecast and to create tools and dashboard to combat mpox that is really spreading.
Dean of the School of Veterinary Medicine at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Benjamin Emikwe. The Coalition of Unemployed Allied Health Professionals is threatening a nationwide protest over prolonged unemployment. At a press conference in Kumasi, the group's public relations officer, Hussein Abdul Baki, says members have remained jobless since 2019, despite completing all required training and procedures. He described their financial and emotional distress as worsening and warned that they will take to the streets if the government fails to grant clearance and post them soon.
We also decry that systematic discrimination in the health sector recruitment, while some of the other health professionals are automatically posted after their internship. Allied health professionals are ignored, delayed, and neglected. Our role in the health system is critical, and we demand equal recognition and opportunity. Furthermore, training institutions continue to admit new students annually, producing more graduates into a system that has failed to absorb the backlog. The government must immediately restructure the workforce, planning and recruitment mechanisms in the health sector. We fully endorse MELPU's call and reinforce the following demands. 1. Immediate financial clearance and recruitment of all qualified but unemployed allied health professionals from 2019 to date. Secondly, an end to reoccurring bureaucratic bottlenecks that frustrates the employment process. If no decisive action is taken to address this issue, we will embark on a massive nationwide demonstration to demand our right to unemployment, fairness, and dignity. And we also like to note that there are about 30,000 unemployed allied health professionals. So we do actually have the number to engage in such a demonstration.
He had the public relations officer of the Coalition of Unemployed Allied Health Professionals, Hussein Abdul Baki. The Ministry of Education is expected to resolve the ongoing impasse between the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, that is TUC, and the Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana, TU Ghana. This follows a meeting between both parties and the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, after TU Ghana protested demanding the replacement of TUC representatives on public university governing boards with their own. Speaking to Citi News, the General Secretary of TUC, TUC Ken James Azotiba, expressed hope that the Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, will act decisively and in accordance with law.
The law empowers us to be in council, and we are in council. He created the problem by writing to the universities to set aside our members in council, which is against the law, and by effect, reducing the powers of the president, His Excellency the President. But he told us, well, he was only taking action, and he reported the Minister of Education, and whatever the Minister of Education would do, they will pick it from there. So we are okay with it, because the Minister of Education assured us that he's going to follow what is in the law. And the Minister of Education is the one who has been swearing them in from all intent and purposes.
Mr. Azotiba also accused the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission of being biased in dealing with the matter.
We see that he's very biased, and he's the cause of the confusion in the public university. We expressed our disappointment in the Director General. He said that his law he was supposed to. We pointed it to him, yes. We have also read his law, and the only law, the clause he has there is to ensure that he advised the minister on industrial peace on the campus. Period. Not for him to take side and say these people have more numbers, and because they have numbers, you put the law aside. The law has not yet been amended.
That was the General Secretary of TUC, Ken James Azotiba. And that's it for today's edition of the City Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. Please log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. I am Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Good afternoon.
City News